Meet me. I'm a filthy cockroach. Welcome back, everyone. I finally pulled her, and I promised I'd review her, so here it is. Today we're going to review Tempest Surin, otherwise known as the Cockroach, or I think I'm the only person who calls her that, but I consider her the Cockroach. She's just roachy in many ways. A very, very toxic, annoying hero that I've been waiting to pull for a long, long time. So of course today we're going to go over her skills, her builds, a PvP showcase, and a quick summary. So let's get started. Alright, so let's go over T. Surin's abilities. Her S1 is very basic, and Max Mola has a 50% chance to inflict 2 bleeding effects. Bleeds are pretty strong, but nowhere near as strong as like poison or burn, so unless you have something to detonate them, they're not really that big a deal, but it does give her a little bit of extra damage. Now, like many ML4s, her S2 is what makes her a toxic hero, so let's read this. Damage suffered in one attack does not exceed 51% of max health. What that basically means is if you hit her for 30,000 and she has 10,000 life, you can't hit her for more than 5,100. So basically it means no matter how squishy she is, she cannot be one-shotted. On top of that, if her health goes below 70% or less and an enemy's turn ends, it full cleanses her, dispels every single debuff on her, and grants her stealth. And she could proc this every single turn, and at Max Mola it gives her a 30% CR push. So basically every time you're trying to kill her, she cleanses herself of all debuffs like defense break, stun, whatever it is, pushes herself up, and this is why she's so dangerous in PvP, because she can cut people and unleash her devastating S3. So her S3 attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance at Max Mola, or actually no, 85% chance at Max Mola to put unable to be debuffed for 2 turns and silence them for 1 turn. So these are both very annoying debuffs, and the damage dealt increases proportional to her lost health. So if she's at low HP, she does a lot of damage with this, and most people run her with Alexas. So it's a pretty toxic, powerful move. Unbuffable, silence, these are all very, very annoying debuffs. But the damage isn't so crazy or anything. It's not the damage that makes her insane. It's the fact that she's very hard to lock down, and if you're trying to cleave her, she's always a threat. She can always do something stupid, randomly cut your team, and then go stealth. She's a very annoying hero. So with her skills out of the way, let's get into the builds. Alright, so how do you build Tempest Surin? So there's really 2 main ways. I'd say the most popular one by far is the Lifesteal build, and it's fairly self-explanatory. Stack attack, crit chance, crit damage, keep her HP as low as possible. If you have FCC, you really want her health to be as low as possible to make the most use of the barrier. Her defense and health don't matter. Speed, you probably want her more like 200 to 220, and effectiveness, it's kind of a toss-up. I'd say at least get like 30 or 40 so you can land consistently on DPS heroes. You're probably not going to land on any Soul Weavers, but I have seen at the high end some people stack like 150 effectiveness on their Tempest Surins to try and trip up people on Guild Wars. But in general, stack attack, speed, crit chance, crit damage. Now I prefer Lifesteal because having her full heal on an S3 is pretty devastating and annoying to deal with, but some people do run her on speed set and try to just make her go really fast and apply that unbuffable and silence very early. My preference is Lifesteal, but that's really your call. In terms of artifacts, the thing you're going to want to use most of the time, I just don't have another copy, is Alexa's Basket. With the greater attack proc, she can really do some serious hurt. I don't have an extra Alexa's right now, so I'm running her on Moonlight Dreamblade, which is also pretty common because it screws up some strategies, like if you bring something like, let's see right here, top model Luluka and you try to dual S1 her, that's a common counter to Tempest Surin. MLDB can trip that up because if she dodges one, she's going to survive and then go into stealth and screw up that entire plan. So MLDB or Alexa's is probably what you're going to want to run her on. I'd still prioritize Alexa's if you have an extra copy. And some people I've also seen use like Portrait or RNL, but those are few and far between, so I'd say those are really mainly just backup options. So I hope that summarizes how to build her. Let's go on to the PvP showcase. Alright, so let's try T-Surin on offense. I think I could pull this off here with a 3-man and T-Surin, but we'll go ahead and find out if it works. I've been experimenting with her a lot. She's not the fastest offensive hero, to be honest, but it should be okay. So they see our push, and this should go on to T-Surin, and watch, does big damage here, right? Nope. Because of the way T-Surin's S2 interacts with barrier, it also applies to that barrier. So basically with FCC's barrier, my T-Surin has to be 4-shotted. You can't even 2-shot her, which is pretty insane if you think about it. And that's why everyone running T-Surin usually runs with Fallen Cecilia, because that barrier stacks with her passive. Now she got a little low, but no problem, right? So she's at 5,700 life, but she's on lifesteal. So blam. She's at full health again. We can go ahead and finish off this Arbiter Vildred. Uh-oh. Alexa's basket. We're in big trouble, right? Uh-oh. Boom, 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 boom. Nope, no problem. T-Surin just survives it casually. Alright, she gets boosted up again because she's below that HP threshold. And now we can just finish off this Arbiter Vildred. She gets healed up a little bit more again. LR Crow is getting slowly chunked by this Celine. Uh-oh. ML Luluka is about to go ham onto ML Crow. Extincted. But we have T-Surin Soulburn up again. So we'll just whap, clear out that Celine. We will slowly work on this ML Lulu, and the bleeds finish her off. So the 3-man worked, and you kind of got to see all the aspects of T-Surin's kit there. That self-cleanse, that CR push, the stealth, and it's why I call her the Cockroach. She's just small and annoying and irritating. Let's try one more. Alright, let's just use that same 3-man squad against a different defense. This time we're going up against a Broman, a very scary defensive unit, and we'll see how this works out. So he's going to strip and silence us. Lands on the LR Crow, not the other, not FCC though. So we'll just do this. And unfortunately, T-Surin didn't take enough damage to shake it off, but that's okay for now. We'll just attack the Crayon. Crayon goes on T-Surin, which is good because that means Celine will probably go on her too. So barely did anything. Didn't even break the barrier, because that's how T-Surin works. So now we're just going to get to work on the Crayon. And there we go. Now watch. T-Surin gets pushed up, and now she can S3, and she's at half health, but now she's back to full. Arbiter Vildred is dead. Boom, 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 boom. No problem though, because now T-Surin has stealth again. So we're just going to go ahead and poke this Broman. We can do this thing to make sure that Broman doesn't get another turn, give the team immunity. Arbiter's almost dead as well, so we'll finish that Arbiter off. And now Kayron can go on T Surin, but he goes on FCC because she has lower life. And as you can see, T Surin is not a tanky hero, but the survivability is very high considering because of the way her S2 passive works, and especially because of the way that it interacts with damage sharing things like Aureus and barriers and things like that. It makes her much tankier. I mean, this team had Celine, Kayron, and Arbiter Vildred on it, and a lot of them were focusing directly onto T Surin, and yet she had no problem surviving whatsoever. And that is ultimately the power of T Surin in PvP. Alright, so now that we've gone over Tempest Surin, as always, the great conclusion, is she good? Yes. She is one annoying cockroach. So let's just go over her PvP ratings. So arena offense, I'm going to give her a B. It's not that she's bad at arena offense, it's just there's nothing really that fast about her. Like, you're not going to use her as a cleaver because her damage isn't that intense. So except in very specific situations, I can almost always think of an arena offense that's better off without her. But if you're really short on heroes and you want to build Tempest Surin, she does work fine, but it's going to be kind of like a slow, boring offense then. So I'd highly suggest that you go with something that can do more single target damage, or who is a true cleaver like Judge Kisei. Arena defense, she's an S, because she's a very strong cleave deterrent. She can do a lot of damage. She can single-handedly wipe out a cleave team if she procs greater attack. So it's very dangerous to try and cleave a Tempest Surin. Not that it's impossible, but it always adds some RNG to it. So arena defense, especially last season, she was all over the place. I'd say when I was doing my Legend climb, she was in 40-50% of defenses near the end. So definitely a strong arena defense pick. Guild Wars offense, I'm going to give her a B. Again, same problem with arena offense. You could probably just think of a comp that's better without her. Although I will say that if you're going to use her against something like a Riolet bait or something, or even against Broman, she might be pretty good because she can self-dispel herself. Riolets and Arbiters can't one-shot her. So against some very specific defenses, she might be quite strong. But honestly, I have Dark Corvus, I could just find the safer way to beat it anyway. Guild Wars defense, I'm going to give her an S. She's in a lot of defenses, and I don't really struggle with her because if you have Dark Corvus pummels T Surin defenses because T Surin lets him S3 every turn. But for people who don't have Dark Corvus, a lot of my guildies didn't, and they always struggled with T Surin defenses because if they dual attack and she procs greater attack every time, she does get quite irritating, especially when paired with Fallen Cecilia. RTA, I will also give her an S because basically if someone picks a cleave team into you and you pick T Surin, Arbiter, Crayon, and you have that trifecta, it's very hard for a cleave team to work around all of those options. So in RTA, she's quite strong. I don't think she's very good against bruiserish teams because you could just kind of ignore her and tank her pretty piddly S1 damage, but against cleave teams, which are quite common, she's definitely a very strong option. So I think that's it for my T Surin review. If you guys have her, congratulations. Definitely a top hero, especially as an ML4. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, peace out.